Hey, welcome. I want to introduce you to one of my great friends, Dr. Tony Pennells. He's doing something that's just so amazing that I know anybody who's in business is going to want to be a part of that. So the reason that I'm so passionate about what he's doing is because I am a business owner myself. And I know that there's many times when I really struggle with constant cash flow. It seems like we have the ups, we have the lows, and it's like, how do you even it out so that you have consistent cash flow? So when I heard about what Tony's doing, it was like, yes, I need this. And not only do I need it for myself, but I need it for all my friends and family and business associates who also want to have more consistent cash flow. So I'm really excited about what Tony's doing, and I'm going to let him take it over and talk more about his plans and his program and how it's going to benefit you. So Tony, welcome to the show, and go for it.
Thank you, Kelly, and thanks so much for inviting me to have this chat with you and your closest friends. It's the program that we're running, that's the Cash Flow Cure program, is something we've actually been asked. Many of our tribe have been asking us for about 2 years now. Just to give you a bit of a background as to how it came about and what it's aiming to do. I'm on a mission to improve and change financial literacy around the globe, literally around the planet. We're in the process of launching a digital media publication that the aim is to have a reach of around 20 million people inside of 12 months, to just change the conversations happening around money within our families, within our communities, within our countries. Because the issue that's going on right now is actually a shared community problem, that 96% of the population are not building themselves to a position of being financially independent over the entire working lives, despite some of the best times, best economies, best stages we've been in, albeit that's coming off the boil in some of the areas right now. That's the general part of the population. Now, here's the challenge. When 96 out of 100 people are doing the wrong stuff, they could be wonderful people, upstanding people, great members of the community, and they're still making mistakes. But the challenge is, it's not only that they're making mistakes, they're modeling these mistakes to the people around them. Because most people that you look at are doing the wrong things, but that's normal. Well, it's not okay, and it actually needs to change. So we're on a mission to actually change that and really just open up this whole conversation around money, bring the key principles of the 4%. Because 4 out of 100 create financial independence. And so I've spent the better part of the last 20 years looking and distilling what those key differences are, to apply them and put them into place, not to create businesses out of it, but actually for my own family to put that into place. And through a series of circumstances, I ended up publishing 3 books, and we've had thousands of people request more information. That's led to us go, you know what, this is a big problem. It affects every single one of us, because if more people aren't becoming financially secure, they become the burden on themselves, their family, or should say their family, the charity, governments, or friends. It's a shared problem. We need to change it. So we're on a mission to change this whole conversation, and that's what the Mindshift.money publication is about. Now, specifically for business owners, what we've been asked is business owners are actually worse off than almost everybody else. I hate to say it. On average, they have 50% lower personal wealth and personal financial security than if they just stayed in a job. Why? Because in Australia, in New Zealand, in the US, Canada, UK, there is no mandatory requirement to contribute to your retirement savings when you're a business owner. Where it's completely different if you just stayed in a job. If you stayed in a job, you can wander around, do your own stuff, and just meaningfully, and end up having your 401ks build, or your RSPs build, or an Australia superannuation accounts build, because of these contributions that have got to take place. Business owners do the opposite. They get into a business because they're passionate, they want to make a difference in the world, and also believe they're going to get some degree of freedom. But often that vision turns into a version of a nightmare, because they invest their time into it. They invest their wealth, their savings, often taking debt on their homes, etc., to make this mission into reality. And yet 50%, they were on a 50% lower personal wealth, and 80% of businesses just close their doors at the end of the owner's working life. So, big problem. How do you change it? Well, the reality is that there's a couple of paradigm shifts in thought And then there's a couple of specifics. In fact, there's 6 key areas to learn and understand and master that allows you to solve this. The first is to realize this, that freedom actually lives outside of your business, okay? The business is never going to create true financial freedom for you. Now, this is a shift for most people, because for a lot of people, they get into business going, I want freedom, so I'm going to become a business owner. And you get a degree of freedom because you get a few more choices, like you can work from home, take some time off, work out your opening hours, starting hours, choose your pricing, do a bunch of other stuff like that. But you've got to be operational in your business. And at some point in your life, every single one of us will reach a stage when we can't work anymore. No matter how passionate we are about the work we do, we just need something medically or physically to happen to us. That means that we can't work, and what happens then? How do you make sure your basic needs are taken care of? Well, the answer comes in that within your business plan, you have to have the plan as to how you get enough money out of your business over and above your basic needs to make sure you're financially secure. So what do you need with that? Well, you need to make sure your basic needs are taken care of first. If you haven't got consistent cash flow, it's kind of like talking philosophy to a starving man. You got to be fed first before you can have high level conversations. So creating consistent cash flow from your business involves separating you and your business, seeing yourselves as 2 separate people, and saying, well, what do you personally need, Kelly? What do you personally need to make sure you're okay? And how do we make sure we get it to you consistently? And then going to the business and saying, okay, hang on a second, we need a consistent cash flow coming from this person. So we've got to be aware of that in profit margins, in how we're growing the business, in client numbers, etc. And equally in making sure that the business has got its own reserve account set up so that it has the ability to pay that consistent income without it running down to 0 each time. And that reserve account should be at least 3 months worth of net worth. That's just the first step. That just makes sure you're okay today. It doesn't make sure that you're okay into the future. So then the business has to go well and truly above that to make sure you get enough to build your own freedom generator, your collection of investments that give you enough cash flow to make sure that you reach a point where you don't need to have a cent out of your business. Now, it's great if your business pays you, but what's not good is if it needs to pay you. Because if it needs to pay you, then you're vulnerable to your business. So step by step, we need to move to evolve beyond that. So what do you then do? Well, you need to understand what business you're in. How's your business going to get that profit coming out? And it either gets that enough profit coming out because you're building steady profits out of the business, but ultimately, end of the day, the business can't sell. There's no buyer because the business is built around you. Or you build a different type of business called the legacy business that allows you to hopefully have steady profits come out along the way, but also potentially have a way that you could sell it at the end of the day, either all of it or part of it, to get enough money to put these investments in place to give you the cash flow to make sure you're free. So what business are you in? What's the value in that business? And then going in and then looking at who do you serve and how do you serve them? So then it's a combination of saying, well, how do you meet your clients where they're at, give them what they want, while you then lead them to what they need and build the core of your business out? What are your limitations of knowing your time, your money, your resources that determine how many clients you could serve at any one time within the capacity of the business? And when you know that combination, you now know the price you must provide your programs at. And once you know the price you provide the programs at, you can then look and go, well, okay, what the heck do I do for that? But what a lot of people do is they do it the wrong way around. They go along and say, well, this is what I do. I do this in my business. And therefore, because I do this, I charge this. And invariably, that's like paying Russian roulette, because the chance of making sure that the price you charge is enough to give you the cash flow you need to be okay today and in your future is extremely unlikely. You actually got to do it a reverse way around. And then it's a combination of saying, well, how do you then roll that out in the right sequence? Because, we can't do all things at the same time. We've got to run them out in the right order. So how do you go and roll them out in the right sequence to know you're being the most efficient and effective, bearing in mind the impact you want to make in the world and the profit you need to pull out of the world? And the reality of it is I don't know any business owner who's truly created financial freedom outside of their business that hasn't considered the 6 areas that are clarified into this business model and shape. Now, the reality of it is unless you happen to have learned the knowledge or been mentored or have key people on your team who've done it before, it's very, very difficult to kind of figure this stuff out yourself. And for most business owners, it's kind of like, making decisions by yourself around the space is kind of like driving down the highway at night with your lights switched off, in the dark, in the rain, trying to drive to a destination with no GPS. You'll arrive somewhere for sure, but the likelihood of that somewhere being where you originally set out is almost impossible. You need a GPS, you need a roadmap. And we've been asked around the programs and how we build our companies, because I've built 6 different companies now that work in this space that I think 5 of them have been multi-7-figure businesses and the like. And we've been asked for quite some time how we actually do it and what we do. And so eventually my business partner, Michaela, and myself have set some time aside to actually develop this program called Cash Flow Cure. And we're massively excited about it for a couple of key reasons. The first is it's friggin' good. It's actually built around.
Well, it has to be good if you designed it.
Well, it's built around what we actually do and have done and tested and modeled. This is not just theoretical knowledge. This is tools that we've actually now tried to pretty up and apply, that we've built to give us answers to the questions we need to ask of our own businesses, which is really, really cool stuff. But the other key thing we've done with this is we've aimed to not only put the education in place, but also put a community in place to open up the conversations so that you're not sitting there quietly worrying about the challenges that you talk about and other business owners go about and quietly struggling yourself, thinking you're the only person around you doing it. Because the sense of isolation for most business owners is extreme. You don't have immediate family, friends, people who can kind of relate to what you're going through. So one of the other key areas is we want to get a community together to open this conversation up so that we've got the collective wisdom of the groups actually coming together and facilitate that process to lift and change the outcome for business owners around the world, around the planet. Now, what we've really made awesome about it is this. We've done the reverse to what most people do, okay? And that's basically this. We've gone and set this up as, this is key knowledge that nobody should be excluded from. So what we've actually done is aim to make it as affordable and inclusive as we possibly could. So how's this? What we've actually set up is we've set up that somebody can come in and just check it out for $1 for 7 days. They can stay in the community for $97 a month. They get access to a program that can, on its own, retail for just under $4,000 a month. We're throwing that in included. And they get a community alongside to really open and change and transform this particular space. And I'm showing very quickly in this particular, in the time we're talking through now, what we're doing around the space. But the real key reason is the why. And that is that, I'm unbelievably passionate about just making a difference. If somebody fails in business or doesn't get ahead or messes up their finances, it's a community problem. We all share in it. If somebody messes up, then the stress is, if they don't get their own finances sorted, then it's a strain on all of us. It's our collective responsibility to change that and to change the outcome. And the way I believe we best do that is by linking arms and sharing the best collaboration with the best ideas. And with what we're doing in Cash Flow Cure, we're looking to catalyze that change and actually bring that change about to really meaningfully change that conversation. This is vital knowledge. This is vital knowledge that people need to have. And one of the reasons we're doing what we're doing with the pricing and the inclusiveness of it is just to make it a complete no-brainer. Just for anybody, this is not a decision to be put off. This is something that is, you don't want time to erode on you. You want to make the change you can while you've got the time to change it. And for us, we know that for many people, the time to make that change was yesterday, but the best time we can do it is now. And so that's what we're doing. And so we're massively excited that good friends like yourself are supporting us and seeing what we do in this space. And it's an invitation to, if anybody's relating and resonating and to what I'm saying and what I'm talking about, it's an invitation to come on in. It's an awesome place. I totally objectively think the program is is unbelievable. But we've set it up in such a way there's absolutely no risk but complete transformational change. And it's, you know, I'm just looking forward to people getting results from it.
I'm really looking forward to it also, because I know that you and Michaela both have amazing, huge hearts. And I just know that this really is a no-brainer. I know that I can't wait to get involved, because I know I'm sick and tired of having the inconsistent cash flow issues. And, you know, I'm a single mom with 3 teenage kids. And so all I want is to be able to have the money flowing consistently so I can do things with my kids. And so we can all feel safe and comfortable and knowing that the money is there. And, you know, the world is full of abundance. And this is the interesting thing about life, is we know that there's trillions and trillions of dollars out there, and it's just a matter of bringing it in. And so, Tony, I'm really glad that you're putting this education out there, because you're right, we all need to know it, because the abundance is there, and we just need to know how to attract it and use it properly. I mean, that's the big thing. So I'm really glad you've made this a no-brainer for everybody. And I just want everybody to know that they can click the link below, and then they can access the program, and that's where you'll get to know more about, you know, Tony and Michaela and what they're doing and their awesome program. So, Tony, do you have any final words?
I'll just look forward to seeing you guys on the inside. I'm looking forward to getting to meet you guys and hearing the stories and the results and the outcomes. And yeah, all I encourage you to do, guys, is there's no catches, no hidden agendas. There is just an absolute feeling and a sense of community and community change, and getting knowledge that should be shared and putting it into a forum whereby we can benefit from it. And the real impact we make isn't the results that we get. The real impact we make is the models we set within our communities of people who see us and see the change and the impact that that then makes, and that'll be measured into generations. And that's the change that absolutely needs to happen. We need a fundamental step change in the results we're actually getting. And, you know, this is us doing what we can to kind of bring the community together. But, you know, it's actually so much bigger than just us individually. Let's get our own houses in order. Let's make the change, and let's impact and just change the future for the next generation. And come on in, come play. Let's have some fun.
Well, thank you again, Tony. And again, for anybody who wants to get involved in the community, absolutely click the link below. It's a no-brainer. And, you know, Tony and Michaela are awesome. And so I can't wait to see all of us in that community make, you know, sharing this abundance. So thank you for being a part of it, and looking forward to seeing you on the inside.